Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Laura, and today I thought I would assemble one of these KSCraft layered pocket tag dies for you. Well, dies. These are the dies. This is so cool. I really love this. This is a great size. It's big. It's got lots of room for lots of goodies, but I have a few tips. I actually didn't use a tutorial to put this together. It's pretty self-explanatory if you've ever used or if you've ever put anything together that has like expandable pockets, but I did think of a few things that would come in handy. What I used for, if you're curious, for the paper for this pocket is from Recollections. I think it's Sprinkle Shop. I don't have it in front of me, but anyway, I hauled it recently. It's a really cute one that has all the pinks and light purples and stuff like that, so I thought that came out really cute. For both of these, I'm using for the base pieces 80-pound cardstock. I like to use 80-pound or even 110-pound when I'm making containers or boxes or anything that's going to hold something, because it's going to hold up nicely. And then if you layer it up with something else with glue, that's also going to give it a lot of sturdiness as well. So just something to keep in mind. You can use 65-pound, but if it's something you're going to mail or it's going to hold a lot of things, those fibers are going to break down more easily. So just keep that in mind. So another thing to keep in mind is, so this is the middle pocket. It's quite large, and it does come with a layering piece as well. This one, you have to be careful about the orientation of the layering piece because one side is longer than the other. So the longer side, you want it to be the vertical side, not the horizontal side, because it won't match up. Like, you'll have too much space at the top or bottom if you turn it the wrong way. And also it's important if you have directional pattern paper. So let's get into this, and I will show you how I put this together. So let's start with the base piece, the one in the back. This one I actually turned backwards because I wanted the pretty texture and the pretty stitching to show in the back. Now you can layer both sides if you want, but you don't necessarily have to. So this is the paper I chose for the back, and this is going to show through really just the top part because it's going to be covered up by the pockets. Okay, something like this, it's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to line it up with my mat towards the bottom. See, it caught on too quickly there because it'll show very quickly. See, like here, it's a little bit off, but that's not too bad. If you have paper that's like a very contrasting color, like let's say I used white instead of this burgundy color, it'll show up a lot on the edges if you misalign it. So here's the back piece. I'm gonna put this off to the side. Okay, and then what I did with the pockets, before I layered them, I went ahead and creased these, what would you call them? Are they gussets? Went ahead and folded them back. That way it just gave me like a good outline, so I wasn't too far over the edge. So let's do the middle, and then we'll do the front. Okay, so let's line this up first, just so I know. Okay, this can go up just slightly. Okay. And I did mention before that I wasn't too sure if I would like the ruffling part of that middle pocket because of the little holes, and they really weren't too hard to punch out. Some of them came out on their own, but the holes are big enough to where you don't have to fuss with it too much to get the pieces to pop out. So this one's going to be a keeper. Okay, so there's that. This one actually might be a little bit high at the bottom, but actually you're not going to see this part. That's going to be covered up by the smaller pocket, so that's not going to matter. Okay, let's attach this one too. This one for sure you're going to see the whole front pocket, so you want to do your best to line that up as straight as possible. Okay. And the paper on this one that I'm using is from Park Lane. I believe it's called Holly Jolly. For some reason they didn't put the names of their paper on the paper pads this year. Okay, so while those are drying, what I'm going to do is, this is one of the other pieces. This is just a layering piece, like a hole reinforcer for the slot for your ribbon on your tag. This one actually doesn't line up great. I'll just kind of have to eyeball it because the last one, at least, and sorry if you hear the trash truck come by. See how you can see that there? The last one I did, you could see this through both sides. I would have loved for this one to have come with a layering piece as well, so that you could see some of that through the back, but that's fine. No big deal. Okay, so let's wait for that to dry. So some of this you're going to want to do in steps, because I found that it took a little bit of time for, not for the glue to dry, but for some of these to attach very well so that they weren't sliding around while I was trying to attach other things. So what I'm doing first is I'm mitering these corners here, because these flaps are going to be folded up, and sometimes it's hard to center them, or even have these fold over if there's too much paper fighting this. Okay, so let's do this too. So these are going to be accordion fold. So what I did first was I attached this middle one to this, and the idea is to get this to be flush and centered, sorry, I'm out of frame, to the bottom of the tag. So you want this fold to line up with your sides. So let's put plenty of glue on this so that it can attach well, but also it'll give you some wiggle room to get this in the right spot. Alrighty. And what I also did with the other one is I kind of folded this up, so I used the gussets as a guide, so it wasn't too off to one side. But you also want it to be even with your bottom here. You want to pick it up and just burnish it down. Let it have a good adherence. And you may even want to, if you have clips, you can use those to hold it in place for a little bit. Sorry, that made a scraping noise. So that it stays down. Okay, so the next I put this one on, so we're gonna wait to do the gussets. Okay, let's just line everything up, because the more you're gonna push on here, the more you're gonna push this pocket down. So again, line it up at the bottom. You can use the flaps or even the matting lines, right? You can use that as a guide too, because that should line up. See, lining up pretty good here, and you can just push it back if you need to. Let's get it nice and stuck. Get that nice and burnished. So yeah, so this bottom part's going to be a bit thick. You want to give this just a minute to set before you start putting these together, because like I said, it's going to start pulling this apart. So okay, so I'll be back in just a minute and we'll do the gussets. So these should be pretty stuck on. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do the front pocket. So let's put some glue here, and then on the other side, and this might get a little messy because you need to hold it down and line it up. So let's see. Let's just go for it. So I guess this is where having nails comes in handy. So again, it needs to have a good adherence because it's going to be moving around while you finish putting on the rest of it. And we are almost done with this. Okay. Alrighty. So again, okay, with a little bit of glue, and I'm not putting too much because I don't want it to take too long to set, but also this art glitter glue, you don't need a whole ton of it. Okay, this one in particular, we could probably close the back on top of it and just line it up as it closes. Let's see how that works. That actually worked out pretty good. But you see here how it's not lined up there? I'm gonna move it over just slightly. This one, just needed to push it over just a little bit. Might be a little far over on the inside, so let me see if I can push that. No, that one's not gonna let me, but that's okay. It's towards the bottom where it's not aligned so great, but you can't hardly see it, right? Just right here, you can see that pattern paper, but here you don't. That's okay. These are handmade items. So I'm going to put my bone folder in here. Give it a good press. And like I said, you may want to put like some sort of weights on it just so it gets a good adherence. But see, this guy moved over a little bit, but that's okay. And there you have it. You can decorate it and embellish it however you want. Let's see, I have some things here, but these don't necessarily match. They're from a different paper set. Yeah, this one in particular, I made sure that you could see where it said hot cocoa, because I do want to make this a hot cocoa pouch. And then the cookies match with the gingerbread theme. Alrighty, so there you have it. I really like this. It's not too complicated to put together, and it is a little bit decorative. You could even use this part as just like a huge tag. So I love that when things have multiple uses. And then these pockets you can put on anything as well. Alrighty, you let me know what you think, and if you have this tag, I always forget what it is, layered pocket tag die set. Okay everyone, I hope you're having a crafty day. Take care, bye bye.